Older people who are smart sometimes like being by themselves. You always seem to be comparing yourself to other people, or you feel like there's no way out of the chaos in your life. Watch this video to hear the wise words of Hiroshi, a Buddhist monk who learned how important it is to stay on his path and be alone. Focusing on yourself instead of other people is the key to inner peace and happiness. You need to read this whole article to find out how these old sayings can make your life better, help you grow your inner garden, and show you how to use solitude to make yourself better and find joy. Before we begin, I'd love for you to stay until the end of this video. There's a gentle, encouraging tip waiting there that could help you feel a bit lighter, a bit more energized. If you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell so you're always part of our growing circle. And if you're watching, say hi by writing, "I'm still becoming." Just a few words can carry a world of meaning. Now let's begin. A teaching from a Buddhist monastery that has been around for a long time is one of the most important keys to real freedom in life. An old story about a monk named Hiroshi beautifully sums up this lesson. Following in his footsteps teaches us to focus on our own paths and not worry about how other people do or fail. Hiroshi was a dedicated Buddhist monk who lived in a quiet monastery tucked away in the hills. He lived a good life because he believed in what the Buddha taught. Hiroshi became famous for his religious practice because he was devoted and didn't give up. He tried to follow the rules of his faith in every part of his life. Even though Hiroshi worked hard and was dedicated, he was easily distracted by what his fellow monks were doing and how well they were doing. Every day, Hiroshi would sit quietly and meditate. During this time, he would sneak looks at his friends. He would write down where they were sitting if he saw that they were sitting more quietly, or looking like they were meditating more peacefully than he was. He was going through a lot of emotional turmoil because he couldn't stop comparing himself to other people. Hiroshi often felt bad emotions like anger and envy because he thought he was falling behind his friends. When he thought about how he was doing compared to other people, it took away from his happiness. Hiroshi's story has a clear lesson. If we want our lives to be complete, we need to focus on our own growth instead of being obsessed with what other people do. We can avoid burnout and live happier and more fulfilled lives by putting our own health and happiness first and staying away from things that distract us. Putting our own growth first is not selfish. It's a necessary step toward being happy with ourselves and moving on with our lives. At one point, Hiroshi felt compelled to ask the abbot for advice after a particularly hard and introspective meditation session that left him feeling worn out and uncertain. It was said that the abbot was a revered and caring monk who had spent decades on a deep spiritual journey. Hiroshi walked up to the abbot with great respect and bowed formally to show respect for his knowledge and experience. The abbot listened calmly as Hiroshi talked about the problems and inner struggles he had been going through. His eyes showed that he really understood. When Hiroshi was done talking, the abbot smiled in a soft, comforting way. He spoke with a warmth that seemed to fill the whole room as he put a comforting hand on Hiroshi's shoulder. "My dear friend," the abbot began, "what you are going through is not unusual. A lot of us face the same problems and challenges on our spiritual paths. Every person's journey is very different, and it happens at its own pace and rhythm. Comparing your progress to that of others will only stop your growth and put up unnecessary barriers." The abbot's words were comforting, but he wanted to do more for Hiroshi than just talk. To make his point more clear, he chose to tell a story with a deeper meaning. He talked about a thick, old forest where many different kinds of flowers bloomed together in harmony. Each flower, with its own shape, color, and scent, added to the beauty of the forest as a whole. The flowers didn't compare themselves to each other. They just existed in their own way, with each one playing a specific role in the ecosystem. "Look at how the flowers don't care about what their neighbors have done, or how they look," the abbot said. "They bloom when they're supposed to, which makes the whole forest look more beautiful. Each flower is valued not for how much it looks like the others, but for what makes it unique and how it adds to the beauty of the whole. The abbot looked into Hiroshi's eyes with a soft, sure look on his face. "Everyone is different like these flowers," he said, "with their own strengths, weaknesses, virtues, and special traits. Your journey is very unique, and the only way to really make progress is to care for and grow your inner self, not compare your progress to that of others. Focus on taking care of your spiritual growth. That way, you can be happy and fulfilled on your path." The abbot gave Hiroshi not only wisdom, but also a new way of looking at things, telling him to enjoy his journey without worrying about how it compares to others. Hiroshi listened with full attention, and as he did, a deep sense of peace slowly spread through his heart. The abbot's voice was steady and reassuring as he spoke on. "Be mindful in every part of your life. As you meditate, put all of your attention on the present moment and let your mind naturally settle down and become quiet. Pay careful attention to and enjoy every part of your daily activities. If you do this, you will find deep inner peace and contentment without having to worry about comparisons." As the days turned into weeks, Hiroshi followed the abbot's instructions to the letter. Dedicated to mindfulness, he kept his mind on his own path and didn't let the progress of others affect him. With hard work and patience, he started to feel a deep and life-changing peace and acceptance of himself. Please leave the first comment below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me and that you think these lessons are helpful. Thanks for your time. Hiroshi had a big, enlightening change in his being one day while he was deeply meditating. He realized all of a sudden that his habit of comparing himself to others had been a heavy and pointless burden. In the peaceful stillness of his heart, he took in more of the abbot's wisdom. He realized that his journey and progress were completely unique and in line with his spiritual growth. From that important moment on, Hiroshi felt deeply peaceful and happy inside. He gave off a peaceful vibe, like flowers blooming quietly in a quiet forest, with each petal reflecting his newfound understanding. Hiroshi learned the very important lesson of focusing on himself instead of looking at other people on this journey. After getting this new knowledge, his spiritual path grew stronger, and he became an inspiration to everyone who met him in the peaceful Buddhist monastery. An important idea for Buddhists is that the idea of individuality is based on illusion. From this point of view, the idea that you can separate yourself from your surroundings is wrong. The truth is that our lives are deeply linked to those around us. Focusing on improving our own well-being can make our interactions and relationships with other people better without us even realizing it. Self-care is important because it sets off a chain of good things that happen in different parts of your life. When you start to really care for yourself, many things in your life will get better, like your health, your mood, your work performance, and your ability to reach your goals. Caring for yourself in this way can show up in many forms. For example, you may notice that you are taller, walk with more confidence, and feel happier and more fulfilled. It's amazing how these outside signs of well-being become more noticeable as you take care of yourself. At its core, focusing on yourself means taking care of yourself and meeting your basic needs. This kind of self-care includes taking care of your basic health and well-being needs, like getting enough sleep, eating right, being active regularly, and relaxing enough. These things are necessary to keep things stable and strong overall. If you don't address these needs, they can make it harder to cope with stress. At first, you might not notice any big changes, but over time, ignoring these basic needs can cause changes in your physical and mental health that you can see, and that could be bad for you. You build a strong foundation for yourself by taking care of these needs ahead of time. Such an attitude makes it easier for you to interact positively with others and handle the challenges of life. Being assertive is important if you want to really invest in yourself, especially if you're busy or tend to put other people first. For this practice to work, you need to set limits and know when to say no, instead of always saying yes. For example, it's important to know when you need to focus on yourself by doing things like turning off your phone or making time for self-care and reflection. To stay healthy, you need to find a balance between your obligations to other people and your own needs. Mindfully, being thankful is a powerful way to make yourself happier. You can feel more content with your life if you notice and appreciate the good things about it. When you think about what you have and are grateful for, you stop comparing yourself to others. G in perspective helps you stay away from negative thoughts and comparisons with others, so you can enjoy your own unique journey and experiences. You should learn not to take on too much at all times and to put your feelings and well-being first. It becomes more and more clear as we get older how wise it is to enjoy being alone, especially as we get older. When we're old, we often find that the simple pleasure of being alone is what makes life truly rich. This time alone is a priceless chance to think about our life's journey and rediscover who we really are, beyond all the roles and responsibilities we've taken on over the years. Accepting this time by itself helps us learn more about who we are and what's important, which shows us the key to happiness and fulfillment in our later years. As a child, being alone often seemed like a scary thought. You could find comfort in the arms of your parents at night, and at school, you hung out with your friends to avoid feeling lonely. Being alone seemed scary, and it was important to avoid it at all costs. But as we get older and become adults, our feelings about being alone change in a big way. We learn to appreciate its quiet strength and the comfort it can bring in the midst of everyday chaos. For adults, the constant demands of work, family duties, and money worries can be too much to handle. There are a lot of us who like to spend time in our cars after a long, tiring day, enjoying the peace and quiet before going back to our busy lives. These moments of peace and quiet are very welcome because they give us a break from the constant noise of life. We find peace and a chance to reconnect with our inner selves during these short breaks, away from the things that often get in the way of our happiness. In old age, being alone takes on a deeper and more meaningful meaning. You don't have to be alone to find a deep sense of harmony within. Now we can reflect on our experiences, be grateful for our journey, and nourish our spirits. When we are alone, we can enjoy the beauty of each moment, remember the things we've done well, and learn from our mistakes. In this peace, we find the real gift of getting older, the freedom to be ourselves without worrying about what other people think or needing their approval. Solitude becomes a valuable gift as we go through life because it gives us a rare chance to connect with ourselves. People who take a one-way train meet new people along the way, and the same is true for us. Many people travel with us for only part of the way. Ultimately, we discover that we are the closest companions we can have. When you realize this, you feel a deep sense of freedom and independence. What most people think of as loneliness can actually be a skill that we can develop. When we accept being alone, we are free to stop, think, and let go of other people's expectations of us. During this time, we can wander through our thoughts, enjoy special memories, and think of new goals. We feel calm and clear in this quiet, like being in a peaceful garden in the middle of a busy world. Life slows down, and we can enjoy the little things that make it beautiful, like the soft rustle of leaves, the warmth of a morning sunbeam, or the soft play of light and shadow. When we read alone, it turns into a very personal journey where stories and characters come to life in our minds, making our inner world richer. For older people, solitude doesn't mean being alone. Instead, it means having the chance to connect with our true selves more deeply. It reminds us that our inner landscape is vast and full, offering a place of peace and reflection in the midst of everyday chaos. When we accept this gift, solitude can become a guiding light on our journey, showing us the way to inner peace and self-discovery. As we go through life, we realize how valuable time is, and that makes us choose meaningful experiences over shallow social interactions. It becomes more and more clear as we get older that our time is too valuable to waste on things that don't help us. A more rewarding goal is to focus on what really makes our lives better and feeds our spirits. If our inner self is still unfulfilled, the noise and chatter of social gatherings can make us feel even more alone. Accepting times of solitude, on the other hand, can make you feel very happy. Without the noise and distractions of the outside world, these quiet times give us a chance to connect deeply with our true selves. Think about enjoying a warm cup of tea while listening to your favorite music in the background. Outside sounds are drowned out in this peaceful space, leaving only a soft hum. This lets you fully experience the present moment. Imagine being in a peaceful garden where each flower tells a story, or lose yourself in a fascinating book that takes you to a different world. We can take off our social masks, forget about the problems in the world, and be who we really are at these times. Being alone isn't just a way to escape from life. It's a way to learn more about it. It gives us a holy place to think, recharge, and find peace with the things that happen in our daily lives. If we choose solitude over the shallow interactions of modern life, we can find clarity, joy, and deeper connections with other people. We're taking this retreat on purpose to improve our journey and make our lives more peaceful and meaningful. Please leave a second comment below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me and that you think these lessons are helpful. Thanks for your time. People often miss the deep wisdom of being alone because their lives are so full of noise and other things that need their attention. However, being alone can help us reach our full potential. The famous author Ganji Fei said it so well. Outstanding people find comfort and clarity in the quiet of solitude, using it as a furnace for self-discovery and purpose. On the other hand, people who have problems with inner doubt may look for companionship with others, hoping that external validation will fill the gaps inside themselves. For example, Muan's journey is very inspiring. He chose to spend 6 years alone at the top of Mount Mogan, which is very peaceful. During the day, Muan spent time alone on this beautiful mountain reading books that were full of wisdom. At night, he turned his thoughts and feelings into creative works, writing more than 100 stories and making many paintings. His years of working alone became a powerful example of how deep work with one's inner world can change things. Muan's journey shows how embracing solitude can help you learn a lot about yourself and grow as a person. It shows us the endless potential that lies within us when we focus on ourselves. For older people, the gift of being alone is more meaningful than ever. Haruki Murakami finds peace by putting aside an hour a day to be quiet. Similarly, we can find amazing productivity and creativity in our quiet times. Being alone gives us time to think, recharge, and connect with our inner selves in ways that aren't always possible when we're busy. Even Albert Einstein understood how important it was to be alone and think, likening it to the calm and important job of a lighthouse keeper directing ships at night. As we get older, our social obligations tend to fade, which can help us see what real connections are. True friendships, which are rare and very valuable, often become clearest when you need them and are thinking about them. Being alone gives us the chance to learn more about ourselves and become the kind of people we want to be. When it comes to marriage, being alone can be a powerful ally. Many women notice changes in their husband's behavior after they get married. For example, an unanswered call or coming home late can cause them to worry for no reason. In today's busy world, it can be unreasonable to expect a partner to always be available and respond right away. People think that true love means getting answers right away, which is spread by social media and other modern communication tools. This can lead to misunderstandings and extra stress. Accepting solitude isn't just about being alone. It's also about finding happiness and strength within yourself. You can make your marriage stronger and more balanced if you learn more about yourself and become stronger as a person. This way, both of you can thrive on your own and with your partner. As we go through life, it becomes more and more important to keep up with our interests and keep a strong sense of who we are. Lu Ruing's story is a powerful example of this idea and teaches us a deep lesson about how to find balance in our lives. Ruing writes beautifully in her book about how she and her husband have built a happy and peaceful life together, while still keeping their own spaces. They have chosen to keep their bedrooms and studies separate, but they spend time together at meals and in other meaningful ways. This thoughtful arrangement shows that a marriage can grow not only through shared experiences, but also by giving each other the freedom to do their own things and enjoy time alone. Ruing's approach supports the idea that being together and having your own space can both be very good for your marriage. We can make our relationship stronger with our partners if we learn to enjoy being alone and being alone. This balance helps us connect more deeply with each other and makes our relationship stronger and more stable over time. Accepting times of being alone is not a sign of being disconnected, but rather a way to build a stronger and longer-lasting relationship. By spending time together in these moments, we can recharge our batteries and bring new life to our relationships, which will ultimately make our marriage happier and stronger. As we try to figure out what it means to be an adult, life can feel like a lonely struggle full of never-ending duties and demands. Work, housework, and raising kids can put a lot of stress on our lives and make us feel worn out. In the middle of all this activity, though, there is a deep truth. Solitude is not an enemy, but a strong ally. A lot of people are afraid of being seen as lonely in a world that is noisy and full of shallow interactions. In order to show that we are never alone, we may find ourselves constantly scheduling activities and social events. Even with all of these efforts, a lot of people, especially older adults, may still feel very alone. The fast pace of digital communication and the superficial connections it can make this feeling even worse. Realizing and enjoying your own company is an important part of living a balanced life. We give ourselves time and space to think, recharge, and get in touch with our own wants and needs. This mindful approach not only makes us feel better, but it also makes our relationships stronger and more fulfilling. Being alone is a deep sanctuary. It's a precious and calm place where we can focus on ourselves, think deeply, and get in touch with our true selves. In our busy lives, outside demands often come before our inner needs. Being alone gives us a rare chance to stop, listen to our inner voice, and rediscover dreams and passions that we may have forgotten or put aside for a long time. For older people, accepting solitude isn't just missing company. It's a way to heal and learn a lot about themselves. It makes us appreciate the little things in life more and build deeper, more genuine relationships with people we care about. As we get older, the process of learning to be alone can become more powerful. It helps us become more self-aware and strong on the inside, and it gives us a chance to take off the social masks we put on to fit in with society's expectations. When we're alone, we can let down our guard and show who we really are. Self-revelation helps us understand ourselves better and see how we've grown as people by letting us think about the things we did and said in the past in a clear and peaceful way. We find the strength to trust our gut feelings and decisions without being swayed by the noise of other people's opinions in this quiet place where we can think. Being alone gives our minds a place to roam freely, where we can dream, plan, and grow our ideas without being interrupted by the noise of everyday life. This sense of independence that comes from thinking about things by ourselves makes us smarter and stronger, giving us the toughness to handle life's challenges. Also, being alone can make our relationships stronger, especially ones that have been there for a long time. In long-lasting friendships and marriages, giving each other space lets each person grow and keeps the relationship from getting too close. There needs to be a delicate balance between being together and being alone in a relationship for it to be healthy. This balance builds mutual respect and decreases dependence. By enjoying being alone, we not only grow as people, but we also help our closest relationships stay healthy and last a long time. Most of the time, people think of solitude as a form of loneliness, when it's actually the basis for making meaningful connections. Being alone gives us time to think about the real relationships we've built over the years, which shows us how important quality is over quantity. It makes a good environment for these relationships to grow, making sure they stay strong and deeply satisfying. As we reach our golden years, solitude turns into a beloved friend who provides a safe haven for the soul. Picture yourself in the peaceful stillness of a quiet morning as the world slowly wakes up. You are enjoying the beauty of being with yourself. You don't have to fear being alone. Instead, you can use it to weave a rich tapestry of interests and passions. These alone times bring deep joy and satisfaction, whether you are reading an interesting book, making art that speaks to your soul, or taking a walk in the beauty of nature. Solace and quiet reflection in this place makes solitude a great place to learn about yourself and grow as a person. You can get in touch with your deepest values and goals here, which will help you live a more meaningful and honest life. Accepting solitude as a good thing can make your life more full and meaningful, where your inner world grows and your relationships with other people do too. There is a certain kind of music that lets us connect deeply with our deepest selves when we are in silence. This peace and quiet whispers wisdom that can only be found in solitude, gently leading us to self-discovery and growth. Being alone gives us a sense of independence and makes us stronger, which makes us value our relationships more deeply. In these calm times, we realize the real beauty of life, having the power to find happiness within, the strength to stand on our own, and the wisdom to enjoy every step of our journey. When we see solitude as a valuable gift, we realize that the best times are often spent with the most interesting person we know, ourselves. The ancients often said that being alone was the best part of life, which may sound strange at first. As soon as we are born, we are each separate and unique. There is no one who can be with us our whole lives. They can only be with us for part of our journey. So, we all have times when we feel alone. It's like going on a trip by yourself or looking up at the night sky without any stars. It might leave your heart feeling empty, but it also gives you a chance to think deeply about things. Please leave the third comment below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me and that you think these lessons are helpful. Thanks for your time. Zhangyi wrote in the Tao of Heaven that anything that is empty, still, calm, indifferent, silent, or doesn't do anything is at the root of everything. Zhanzi says that being alone is the cause of everything. It is only when people are completely alone that they can really understand what life is all about. This is why many ancient sages chose to be alone, and they were often alone at different times. Some people follow their hearts and spend their whole lives thinking and traveling alone until they die peacefully. By walking this path alone, they can gain deep insights and connect deeply with the core of their being. People who are alone in high places often feel both a deep sense of beauty and isolation. People who have been to places like Tibet often talk about the huge, snow-covered plateau where the air is thin and the landscape is made up of tall mountains and permanent glaciers. This remote and amazing place offers a unique opportunity to experience both thrilling dreams and scary mysteries. Wandering around at such high elevations lets you enjoy stunning views in peace and quiet, seeing life from a completely different angle. That's how Yan puts it so well. Work when the sun comes up, rest when it goes down, and have fun between heaven and earth. On the other hand, loneliness can also be a sign of detachment, a choice to stay away from the normal busyness of life. It's a state where we reject societal pressures and are always looking for approval from other people. Instead, we make our realm a place of peace and comfort. Realizing that we don't have anything when we come into this world and leave it with nothing makes us feel even more alone. Lin Shui said something very wise. Being alone is a form of happiness. Being alone in this way can give you a deep sense of peace and relaxation, like being in a beautiful place where everything is still and calm. In these times, simple pleasures like drinking a glass of wine in the rain or reading poetry that makes you feel calm in a faraway place might help you feel better. Loneliness can make us more spiritually and personally pure, which lets us go through life's journey with ease and freedom. Like petals that float on the wind and never touch the ground, loneliness helps us stay true to who we are as life's seasons change. After all the chaos and storms, we are left with a truer and calmer version of ourselves. People say that being alone is one of the best things in life when you fully embrace it. Mind clutter can be cleared, impurities washed away, and a good place for positive thoughts to grow can be created in this deep solitude. When you really enjoy being alone, you learn more about life itself. Jenny's wise words perfectly capture this idea. Rising high and falling low, harmonizing with everything, seeing things as they are without getting caught up in them. When you think about examples from the past, think about the story of the Western Jin dynasty. There is a man named X-Tong who lives south of the Yangtze River and is famous for being a great poet and writer. X-Tong was very smart and had many chances to have a successful career as an official, but he chose a different path. He liked living alone in a mountain village because it kept him away from the busyness of everyday life, so he could focus on taking care of himself. Being alone helped X-Tong reach a state of true wisdom. He stuck to his beliefs and gained a deep understanding of what life is all about. His story shows that if you understand the real point of being alone, you can reach a higher level of loneliness, a place where you value silence and are satisfied with the better things in life. You will find the depth and fulfillment that come from living in harmony with yourself and the world around you when you accept and enjoy the silence of being alone. Thank you for being part of today's message. If this message resonated with you, please consider subscribing and pressing the bell to continue your journey with us. And if you're open to a little universal magic, drop your age in the comments. Many believe that declaring your years with pride sends a ripple of strength and vitality through the universe, and it returns that energy right back to you. Stay strong, stay curious. This is your time to thrive.